The entire base held its breath as General Harrison stepped forward, scissors in hand, and pointed at the young woman sitting silently in front of him. "It's time you learned your place," he said with cold authority. But the moment the first lock of hair fell, the general froze in disbelief, because the woman he thought he was punishing held a secret that would shake the military to its core. From which part of the country are you watching this from? Leave a comment below. The desert sun beat down mercilessly on the military training base, casting long shadows across the dirt-packed ground. Soldiers in crisp uniforms stood at rigid attention, their eyes fixed on the center of the parade ground. In front of them, a young woman with piercing green eyes and a calm, steady demeanor sat in a chair. Her shoulders were squared, her hands resting quietly on her lap, and though her heart raced beneath her chest, she betrayed no hint of fear. General Harrison, a man known for his strict discipline and unyielding standards, approached her with scissors glinting in the sunlight. Murmurs rippled through the soldiers behind him. "She's been insubordinate, and it's time for a lesson," he announced, his voice carrying authority that made the dust tremble in the heat. The woman didn't flinch. Instead, she stared straight ahead, her expression unreadable. The first snip of the scissors sliced through her hair, and a hush fell over the base. Harrison's sharp eyes watched her closely, expecting to see a flinch, a sign of humiliation, or a plea. But she didn't move. She didn't react. The second snip followed, and then a third, each lock of hair falling to the ground like silent testimony to her composure. The general's brow furrowed. This wasn't the reaction of a mere recruit or a low-ranking officer. Something about her calm defied logic. He stopped mid-snip, studying her more closely. She met his gaze without fear, almost as if daring him to see past the surface. A cold shiver ran down his spine. Suddenly, she spoke, her voice steady, commanding, yet with a quiet edge that made everyone else take a step back. "You should have done your homework, General." The words were simple, but the weight behind them froze the room. Harrison's hand trembled slightly, and the soldiers behind him exchanged uneasy glances. He had thought this was a routine disciplinary action. He had been wrong. "She's not who we thought she was," one of the lieutenants whispered, barely audible over the stillness. The general turned toward him, eyes narrowing, trying to mask the growing unease. "You've underestimated me," the woman said, standing slowly as her hair now hung unevenly around her shoulders, her uniform perfectly in place despite the humiliation it was meant to represent. "And that's a mistake you will never make again." In that moment, recognition hit Harrison. The woman wasn't just a recruit or a low-ranking officer. Her stance, her calm, the precision of her every movement. This was someone with authority, someone trained beyond what any recruit could hope to endure. His mind raced. Could it be? No. And yet, the metals subtly etched into her uniform, the disciplined posture, the scars on her knuckles. All the pieces began to fit together. A memory surfaced, a classified report he had dismissed months ago. A high-ranking officer, operating under deep cover, known only to a select few in the Pentagon. That officer had been rumored to be reassigned in secret, but all traces of her had vanished. And now she was here, in his base, sitting silently as he had attempted to humiliate her. The general's mouth went dry. You're Brigadier General Lydia Kane," he stammered, unable to conceal the shock in his voice. The realization spread like wildfire among the soldiers. Whispers erupted behind him, eyes wide in disbelief. The woman before them, the one he thought was a mere recruit, someone beneath his notice, was one of the highest-ranking officers in the armed forces. Kane's gaze didn't waver. "You will remember this day, General," she said. "Not because of the punishment, but because of the lesson you just learned about assumptions and respect." She turned, walking calmly back toward the line of recruits, her movements precise, every step a testament to the years of training and discipline she had endured. Harrison remained frozen, the scissors clutched in his hand, the sunlight glinting off them. He had been shown, in the most dramatic way possible, that appearances could be deceiving, and that underestimating someone based on superficial judgments could cost more than pride, It could cost control, credibility, and authority. As Kane disappeared into the ranks, the soldiers around her straightened their posture, inspired and awestruck by the presence of a leader who had mastered composure, strategy, and courage. Harrison finally lowered the scissors, the weight of embarrassment and awe pressing down on him simultaneously. He had learned a hard lesson, and the echo of Kane's presence would resonate across the base for years to come. And as the sun began to set over the desert base, casting a golden glow over the soldiers, Kane looked back one last time at the general. No words were needed. The silence itself was enough. Her authority undeniable, her power respected, and her secret identity a revelation that would never be forgotten. If you found yourself stunned by this twist, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you never miss the most dramatic, jaw-dropping stories from the military world. Trust me, you won't want to miss what's coming next.